You close your eyes for 8 hours, wake up on time, move through your morning routine, and still feel a profound, heavy tiredness. It lives somewhere quiet, a weight your inner world is carrying that you can't seem to set down. When people say they are tired of existing, the immediate assumption is often extreme, that they are experiencing suicidal ideation or clinical depression. For many, that interpretation misses the truth. It is a quiet desire for the constant pressure, the endless performance, and the sheer noise of everyday life to finally stop. There is no single traumatic collapse to point to here. The fatigue comes from the slow accumulation of small, unacknowledged efforts. The conversations where you swallowed your true feelings, the days you showed up when your tank was already empty, and the years spent adapting to expectations while abandoning your own needs. This naturally leads to a cycle of shame. You try the conventional fixes, taking a day off, going on vacation, or sleeping in, and when you still feel entirely depleted, a deep sense of guilt sets in. The mind whispers that you are being lazy, ungrateful, or broken. We can stop blaming your sleep habits or personal discipline. This persistent emptiness indicates a system failure that originates far beneath the level of sleep hygiene. Psychologists call this state emotional exhaustion. Despite the clinical sound of the term, the experience is deeply human. It happens when the mind quietly decides to stop fighting. The equation is remarkably straightforward. Burnout sets in when your emotional output, your patience, your self-regulation, your effort, drastically exceeds your emotional input. For months or even years, you keep giving without receiving enough safety, rest, or support to replenish the reserves. This pattern heavily targets a specific type of person, the reliable ones. The helpers and the peacemakers learn early on that being functional is safer than being expressive. They become incredibly skilled at meeting everyone else's demands while quietly severing the connection to their own internal state. This lingering emptiness is a biological red alert, signaling that a vital part of your human system has been bypassed for too long. Under prolonged stress, the brain shifts its priorities. It stops optimizing for curiosity, pleasure, or long-term meaning. Instead, it alters its operating system to focus entirely on survival. The body treats energy as a strictly limited resource, and anything deemed non-essential gets shut down. We see this in the brain's reward system. Dopamine production slows. Without that spark, motivation drops, and minor efforts feel heavy. By dampening responses, the brain expects less, a strict protective measure, saving the energy cost of hoping and facing disappointment again. This explains why mindless scrolling or laying on the couch fails to fix the problem. Quick dopamine hits offer momentary distraction, but they do not signal to your nervous system that the threat has passed. Rest alone cannot cure emotional exhaustion. You cannot sleep your way out of a nervous system that is actively locked in a state of defensive conservation. This biological shift eventually leads to a state called anhedonia, the reduced ability to feel pleasure. Sadness still carries emotion, but anhedonia is the total absence of feeling. It is the sensation of watching your own life happen from behind a pane of glass. Behavior changes follow. Social energy becomes scarce, plans get canceled, messages go completely unanswered, and you pull away from the people around you. From the outside, this withdrawal looks like apathy or coldness. Internally, it is strict self-protection. Every interaction, even casual small talk, requires emotional currency that your system currently lacks. Eventually, you hit meaning fatigue. Life becomes pure maintenance. Wake, work, sleep, repeat, with no sense of forward movement. The human mind can endure immense hardship when it has a purpose. Psychiatrist Viktor Frankl observed that we don't need a grand or heroic reason to keep going, but we do need a why that feels real. When you start asking, what is the point of all this? The mind hasn't given up. That question is an active search for a reason to stay engaged. Emotional exhaustion serves as a biological demand to stop suppressing your own humanity. Energy returns as your daily actions move back into alignment with your inner truth.